What's up, everybody? For today's menu, the whole idea is a play on coffee and donuts, but I'm amping it up by making it an affogato and donuts version using homemade brown butter ice cream, a fried cinnamon cake donut, and combining all that with freshly brewed espresso using a black cherry variety from Airship Roasters out in Arkansas. All of this was created with my sponsor Trade Coffee, and when you subscribe at drinktrade.com/Byron, you'll get a free bag of coffee to try out. So with that said, let's dive into the recipe. Okay, so first thing you want to do is brown your butter in a sauce pot that's on medium to high heat. Once the butter is foaming and starting to darken, remove it from the heat and pour it into a bowl. Add in the sugar and egg yolks, then whisk the mixture for 2 minutes. Warm the cream up in the same pan you brown the butter to around 170 degrees Fahrenheit, or just until it starts to create steam. Then turn the heat off and slowly whisk the hot cream into the egg mixture. Once you're about 2 to 3 ladles in, pour that mixture into the sauce pot that's on the stove and continue to whisk. Turn the heat back onto low medium and cook the mixture until it reaches around 140 to 150 degrees Fahrenheit. Once that's homogenized, transfer the ice cream base to a container and place in the freezer until it reaches 34 to 35 degrees Fahrenheit. Then it's going to go into the ice cream machine until nice and creamy. This brown butter ice cream is going to be the perfect blend with the fruity espresso from Airship. Just one of many small businesses that Trade Coffee brings support to, and I am all for it. Alright, so now it's time for the fried cake donut recipe. This recipe is half dough and half batter since it's going to be fried, not baked, like most cake donuts. So using a stand mixer fitted with a paddle attachment, whip together your butter, sugar, salt, and a whole egg for 2 minutes on medium speed. Then you're going to add in your baking powder, milk, and cake flour. Then continue to mix for 2 minutes or just until the batter starts to thicken, but is one consistency. Remove the dough from the bowl, and then you're going to place it onto a sheet of wax paper. Then place another sheet of wax paper over the top of that. Flatten the batter like dough to around a ½ inch thick, and then everything goes in the fridge for about 3 hours. This whole recipe was really inspired from Thomas Keller's Coffee and Donuts recipe via the French Laundry, his flagship restaurant, but like any chef worth his salt, I had to give it my own twist and hope I do it some creative justice with this fried cake angle. For the coating, I'm just mixing together a generous amount of sugar and a very generous amount of cinnamon to really drive home the flavor in each bite. It should really be a relatively cinnamon-filled experience with this particular donut, so don't be shy on the spice. When the cake dough is ready, punch out the donuts using some ring molds or designed donut cutters, but just make sure they're floured on the edges, and you need to work pretty fast with this one. Once the donuts are cut, you want to fry them at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for around 4 to 5 minutes, or until they are a dark golden brown. Just make sure to turn them every 30 seconds or so. You can use any flavorless frying oil of your choosing. Of course, once they're fried, make sure to briefly pat off the excess oil, then coat the donuts in the cinnamon sugar to your liking. I like mine half coated, but I've seen everything under the sun. For me personally, I like to prep my affogato cup beforehand, so I pack a frozen glass on just one side with the brown butter ice cream, and then I'm going to stick that back in the freezer while I brew everything up. Just makes for an easy finale. For the whole brewing process, Trade Coffee had quite a few selections for me to choose from, and I had a lot of fun choosing between a few different varieties and experimenting with flavors for this recipe. Ultimately, I went with the Black Cherry Espresso variety from Airship just because I really liked the forward espresso flavors that aren't bitter focused. That's just true for coffee in general with me, so that's why I went with a fruit-based sort of forward espresso that has sort of a dark cherry, citrus, and chocolatey feel. The original recipe calls for a very frothy, semi-Freddo based cappuccino, but I'm happy with a simple double shot cappuccino with some extra froth. This right here is what coffee and donuts are really all about for me, but if you really want to take it to another level, you could whip out the homemade ice cream, pour in the double shot of espresso, and have yourself a very special affogato and donuts moment. I have to say this recipe was ridiculously fun to make, and I definitely recommend you guys trying it out, or at minimum some version of this recipe. The donut is super crispy on the outside and sort of an angel food cake in the middle, all coated in that cinnamon sugar. Then you add in the ice cream and coffee, and it's really just too good not to remember. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you like and subscribe, drop a comment. Also, don't forget to get a free bag of coffee when you go to drinktrade.com/Byron and subscribe. Take advantage of that. Enjoy something maybe a little bit different for the morning brew, and I'll see you guys next time with another recipe. Later, folks.
Man, that is ridiculously good.